Dave's like, what? Here we go. Hey everyone, I hope all is well. Let's just bring up the chat, Dave. And also, I'm not going to let any, just because the last Tuesday tuning of the year, I am still going to do what I've always done this year, which is check if we're live.
Check if we're live.
Check if we're
I just realised I still hadn't quite clicked that we are live. I don't think I've even said anything the whole time. I've been cleaning the glasses, but hello!
Yeah, we are live.
We are live.
There we
of course
go.
we are. Well, we've got Angus Ross, which I know is not that accent.
I know he's told you this before.
Yeah, I know. It's still. I like extremes. You know, a man with like a quite recognisable West Country accent with quite a recognisable Scottish name, watching two Welsh lads on the internet.
Exactly. Hey Angus, I hope all is well, mate. Yeah, thanks for joining us on what I know is a busy time this time of year. It is. We always try and do a Tuesday tune-in before the end of, before we break up essentially. So we know it's a busy time. So hopefully there's some EverTrekkers on here this week as well. If you have joined us or you are joining us now, I know Angus has said hello. Be good to hear anyone else that's out there. And let us know, how you're doing today.
Can you do a West Country accent at all? You're pretty good with
them.
I can. No, see, I went Irish then.
I just say,
I'm Angus Ross, so I am.
That's pretty good, actually.
That's Irish, though, isn't it?
That's pretty good.
Pretty good Irish, but not. I can't do West Country.
No.
I mean, I think I probably could if I was a few beers deep. I could probably get one.
Anyone can do it there, but we're not talking about accents today.
No.
Bringing it back, we're talking about what's been an absolutely beast of a year, really, 2024. And even though, we always like to have a theme, don't we, with Tuesday Tune-In episodes, but we wanted to...
Sometimes a loose theme.
It is a loose theme. Yeah, definitely is. But I think today we'll talk about the journey that's been 2024, Dave.
Yeah. I still only feel like I'm halfway through 2024.
I know.
It's peculiar to me that we've got to the end already. I'm not sure I'm ready for 2025. But I think...
You have to be, mate. It's only 14 days.
I think 2024, what was amazing about 2024? Should we do personal highlights to set it off?
I just realised with this. No, it is true. It's that way. My bad.
Was that a subtle way to draw attention to the fact
that is one of the highlights?
We did win an award, the British Travel Awards 2024 winner, Best Travel Company for Adventure Holidays, EverTrek.
Best travel.
Yeah.
No, we didn't want to start with that, but it's too late now.
Yeah.
But obviously very recent, which is absolutely amazing. But I want to start with some of the EverTrekkers.
Yeah,
because without them, we're just two guys chatting on the screen. But I do want to chat about the community because it's been really, really powerful this year. Obviously, this year we had we did launch last year Tour de Mont Blanc, but our first dates went this year.
They did go this year, yeah. I think the first group, Keith McDonald.
Yeah, they had quite bad weather.
Bad weather.
Some of the high passes were shut.
Yeah, they left the UK, which was dry at the time, to go to the French and Italian and Swiss Alps in the summer, and it was hammering down with rain to the degree where we actually had to change the itinerary slightly.
We did actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's adventure travel, though. I mean, is it really adventure travel if nothing goes wrong? Or have you just been traveling?
I mean, it's always nice when things go right, but I know what you mean. It does. That it is nice when it goes to plan, and I think, look, ultimately. The Alps was absolutely crazy because I think that was back in May, and the weather wasn't too great here, it wasn't too great there. But anyway, it was great to have our first groups on the Tour de Mont Blanc, and it's not a coincidence that our trips next year we've added more dates. It's been really popular. I think we've almost sold out 4 of the dates now for next year, which is phenomenal, really. So clearly, people are want to go to the Alps, and hopefully we'll be doing more there. The Tour de Mont Blanc, absolutely great that we now run that. That was a first for 2024.
Did we have any other firsts for 2024?
We did.
What else was there?
This is a test now.
Oh, so what other trip did we do first in 2024?
I mean, I'm cheating because...
Grand Paradiso. Yeah, you've got notes. I haven't been... Grand Paradiso.
Well done.
Yeah, that was
10 points to Gryffindor.
Exactly. Yeah. I knew all along. I was just trying to create a sense of drama.
I know.
Sure, I was. But yeah, that was great. Little, literally just like it's like the TMB's sort of little brother.
It is.
Mount Montblanc. You wouldn't call it not Mount Gran Paradiso, largest mountain solely that sits within Italy's borders.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went over there last year.
To set it up for this year.
Which
was amazing. And it's great seeing some EverTrekkers on there as well. Tough trip because, it's not just the trekking. Obviously, there's a peak involved as well. So it is that little bit of a step up, in terms of physicality. And altitude, you're still going over 4,000 meters. So similar kind of height to Tukau in that way. But I'd say because it's the Alps, bit of a different ball game, really. But yeah, it was absolutely fantastic to see our first... our first summits on there.
The
squash.
Yeah, the squash is it?
That is actually just squash.
You've got a couple of snowballs down you already.
No, nothing. And then we also had some other firsts as well. Well, we've had people on. Last year we had an expedition on Aconcagua, but this year we actually had our first successful summits on it.
Really?
Back in January.
January.
So we had 3 EverTrekkers. But the team made it to the summit of Aconcagua, which was amazing. The highest peak outside of the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So that was pretty special to have, our first expedition really on Aconcagua like that. A successful one. So we were really, really happy to do that. Yeah, and it's weird because that does feel like years ago.
But this is what I mean about 2024.
It's crazy.
It's a difficult one to put my finger on because I feel like it's about 3 years worth of activity in 1 year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still don't feel like I've had a full year. It's a strange one.
It is. Been weird.
But yeah, no, big one. We've had a lot of successes on the peaks actually this year. It's been a peaky successful
peaky blinder,
year.
Mate. It's been.
No, it's been a peaky blinder.
Sorry.
That's good. No, it's worth it. That was good.
You like that one?
No, that can stay that one. It has been a peaky blinder. We've had some good peaks.
Well, yeah, we let's switch back to Nepal, and obviously we had Island Peak summits, Mera Peak summits, and Lobuche.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. But it was great that this year, I think, we get a lot more EverTrekkers now who are going to, Everest Base Camp first time, but going back to Nepal. And we've kind of noticed that in the types of customers, the customers that are coming back and taking on the peak. So we had a lot of summit success this year in Nepal, especially.
No, I think that's what those peaks are great for, isn't it? And actually Nepal, we don't have any... It's like choosing a favourite amongst your kids when you choose a favourite trip. But I will say that some of your kids have different personalities, and one of the aspects of Nepal's personality is that once you meet Nepal, you want to hang around with it more.
It's okay to have a favourite, Dave.
Yeah,
but I had 7 sisters. I know who my parents' favourite was.
Yeah, true.
I'm only joking.
But like for me, it is like I don't know what it is about Nepal, but a lot of people will go to countries, they'll have an amazing time, and then they'll come back, and then they'll be looking online where to go next.
Yeah.
But when people go to Nepal, sometimes and a lot of times they come back and they say, what else can I do in Nepal?
Yeah.
It's like they want to...
Exactly.
It has this draw to it, and it is amazing.
And I think, we do have quite a lot of EverTrekkers that like going to different places.
Yeah.
I think we've seen that on the trips. But obviously, Nepal's where we started. I know we talk about Nepal a lot, naturally, because that's where, a lot of our trips happen. And that's because that's when our first trips happened. So naturally, and especially because this year was, I know earlier in the year we celebrated our 8th year anniversary since our first EverTrekker went to Nepal, which is mental.
Yeah.
And actually, this year is 8 years since you've been to Nepal. I think in the October, the first time.
Was
2016,
it really? Is that how long it's been?
I know.
Unbelievable.
Since the first time.
Actually, it came up recently in...
we were
on the Facebook memories.
That's right. Yeah, it did. I
know. But I didn't click. It was 8 years ago. The first time I went to Everest Base Camp.
Crazy, huh?
What a world!
I know.
What a world!
I know. It's certainly gone fast. But yeah, it was just something I was remembering. I was thinking, wow, has it really been that kind of crazy time? But all the way from our first trips. Dave, you were actually the first person to book on an EverTrek trip.
EverTrekker Zero, Customer Zero.
Which is crazy thinking back to those days.
Yeah, no, it is mad. It was, I think I actually booked on.
Yeah.
I think before EverTrek
was formed. That's
I
right.
think-
It was
I think
just in a
there was-
cafe.
There was the idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, yeah, it's a great idea. I'll be your first customer.
I know.
And it was and
rest is history.
and that I remember that was what, February or March 2016.
Well, I got back. I think that was towards the end of February into March.
If it was March, it was the very beginning.
Yeah.
And I remember, I went to October that year.
Yeah, it was great. It was mad.
It was amazing.
How time flies.
Still got the kit list, haven't we, in here somewhere?
It's in the other room. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Another anniversary that we had this year as well.
Go on.
200th episode.
Oh yeah, of course. Oh my God.
200.
See, you're on it.
200 episodes of the Tuesday Tune-In.
Yeah,
were celebrated
good.
this year,
which was nuts because we're averaging 50 a year, so that's pretty good. Because we've been going 4 years. Almost 5 in April.
Yeah, I think this year actually we've probably missed more than we have any other year.
It's been,
but
we've been doing other stuff.
Yeah, it's been one of them years, and unfortunately, sometimes that hour on a Tuesday is just so valuable.
Yeah,
and you really do have to pull us away from this, but unfortunately, sometimes it does happen. But yeah, 202. That's probably including some of the bigger, longer shows that we've done. I'd say it's on average about 200 hours.
It's a lot.
Of the Tuesday Tune-In.
Yeah.
Imagine if you spent that time in the gym.
No, it has been amazing, and look, it's great. There is a mainstay of the business and of the community, and look, we'll keep doing it as long as people find value in it as well. It's great that Andrew, Pratesh, Gary, how you guys doing? Andrew, did you get your buff? Thank you so much for the donation, by the way. I will. Vicky's on the comments. It'd be great if she can put the link in, but not sure if all of you know, but this year for our Yeti Yuletide Challenge, we are raising money for Andy's Man Club, who are essentially a mental health charity, suicide awareness charity, and we're raising money for them. So every booking in December, £50 goes from us to Andy's Man Club. Also, as well, any donation over £20, they get a free buff. We send one of these buffs. I think Andrew's got one. Great stuff. One of our legends. So this is obviously people who've been on trips with us recently will obviously know these very well. It'd be great to see you guys out there sharing it on socials, tagging us, and obviously sharing hashtag in the buff.
Mm-hmm.
Be great to see more of you out there, definitely. And obviously any donations, there is the link as well that the VIX has just put up. And thank you everyone who has donated. We're actually 60% of our target, so I think we've got another probably 4 or 5 days before we kind of finish that off. So it'd be great to hit our target this year. We've hit it the last 2 years that we've done this.
We're not going to fail.
No, we're feeling positive about it. But obviously 60%. We want to smash that target. So any donations to that charity would be greatly appreciated.
Mate, let me tell you, Andrew Scott's not going to let us fail.
Well, he's already donated.
Yeah, I know, but he's not going to let us fail.
He's going to be sharing it. Let's do that.
He's going to be sharing it, and I know the guy. Like if last minute he needs to do what he has to do, he'll do what he has to do.
Fair.
I'm joking, Ed. But thank you for donating.
Yeah, honestly, huge thank you. It's been amazing. Obviously doing that as well, and we always like to choose a charity at this time of year. And Andy's Man Club do a lot, so this was it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
we got Raymond as well. Gosh, this time last year I was trekking to EBC, arriving there on Christmas Day. Wow, Ray, that sounds awesome. Time has flown by this year. Yeah, it certainly has. Time for another trip then, Ray. Probably that's what's on the agenda, right?
Yeah.
But Dave, what should we focus on next? I know we covered off the peaks.
Mm-hmm.
I think actually something this year that was quite big is quite a lot of challenging weather.
Weather has been an issue this year. You're right. Yeah.
Not to go into Negasaurusville, but it's always good to talk about the things that it was a bumpy ride.
It was a bumpy ride,
but we managed to. And we know that the feedback from the autumn, especially this autumn.
Yeah.
I think the team did fantastic.
No, 100%. Yeah, I think
very happy with that.
Climate change is a real thing.
Yeah.
I know there's probably some people go, but it is.
Yeah.
And I think it's affecting the most extreme areas of the planet perhaps the most. There's a reason people go to Antarctica to study climate change and things like that. Yeah. And actually in the high Himalayas and the remote regions of the world, weather plays a huge part in the cycle of life over there.
Yeah.
And I think one of the things that we are noticing, particularly those areas of Asia that have like seasonal monsoons and rely on the rains and the dry seasons and things like that, that's where you really notice the difference. And Nepal being one of those countries, is you are noticing a big change in the behaviour of the monsoon. It's becoming really unpredictable.
Yeah.
And this year, I mean, I've got to say, like, just for my own thank you to every single person that went out to Nepal this year, because when the weather goes wrong, depending on, you know, the type of customers a company has, can mean whether whoever's doing my job is like having an easy time or the world's worst time.
Yeah.
And I can always say that our customers are the best. It might not be an easy time, but in the way that you guys roll with the punches, you really do embrace adventure travel.
Yeah.
And like I said, it might not be, you know, I joked earlier, is it adventure travel if nothing goes wrong? Well, it is, but what makes an adventure is the people on it, you know.
Absolutely.
Otherwise it's just a land mass, you know. So, and if you're out there and you have embraced the you know, the attitude for adventure, and things change and you roll with the punches and you adapt and you do things, and then you come back and you've got a massive story to tell,
it adds to it.
Like, no one writes a book usually about something amazing that they've achieved, and you open it on page 1 and it says, well, I set out to do X and it went really well. you know, and then that never becomes a bestseller.
That's true.
But
drama's okay, but
exactly. But when you come
managed.
back and, like, you know, your grandkids say, "What did you do that year?" and you go, "Sit down, son."
Is that what it is?
You think it's raining outside now? Get out there and build that treehouse in the rain, mate. Because I've got a story to tell you about a time when Rampy was in Nepal.
No, I think you're right. Like, but I was so proud about how it was managed, because, you know, you do. Like, this isn't us boasting or anything, but it's always nice to see when things do go well. And, you know, we've been in seasons that, you know, it's been a lot harder to manage, even though with similar conditions. We kind of felt like, you know, we were getting early flights. We managed to get a lot of flights that went directly from Kathmandu, not all of them.
A couple of choppers.
We sorted that out, and I felt that whole process, we were really proud of that, I think, because there was a lot of work, you know, especially yourself, Lauren, and the ops team, and you know, obviously Anuj and Kedar and all the team in Kathmandu as well. Like, there's a lot that happens there that doesn't get seen.
Yeah.
And Dave's like, yes, definitely.
Yeah, thank you. Let's talk more about that. Because,
no, but it is. For me, I see that, and obviously it's amazing. Thank you to everyone, including Dave, to make that happen. I think. Yeah.
No, well, yeah. I mean, to be honest, it's all credit to the team in Nepal. You know, I mean, I may work hard. Yeah. You may work hard, but the team in Nepal.
Oh, they're
actually out there awesome, during the monsoon, trying to, like, you know, do their best to kind of make sure that trips happen.
Especially when there's like 4 or 5 days of delays.
Oh,
that is crazy, isn't it?
That's where I think the EverTrek team in Nepal are really a cut above the rest.
Yeah.
Now, like, if you have, like I said, one of those trips where you want to go to X and everything goes completely well, there's probably 1,000 teams out there that could do that.
Yeah.
They could take you anywhere if everything goes well. And then when things start to go wrong, that's really when the cream starts to rise to the top. Yeah. And I would, you know, all right, you can say I'm biased and I'd say this even if it wasn't true, but I promise you I know it's true.
Yeah.
Our team out there really do rise to the top when challenges like big delays. So, for instance, if you're delayed for 5 days, you have to be an artist to get people on their trips and to get people home in time. You have to be it is a form of art to manage.
Logistics can be interesting. Yeah, exactly.
15 people land.
Well, but when you've got 200 people.
Yeah.
it's difficult, especially when there's, you know, 2,000 or 3,000 people stuck in that location.
Yeah,
and you know, I was very, very, very proud of that. That's why I thought, as I was writing my things that went well, but the things we're proud of this year as well. That was a biggie for me. That was on my list.
No, it's really good, really good.
Because I know we also had some challenges from the Nepal Aviation Authority, airport issues, all that fun.
They're a barrel of laughs, yeah.
But again, very resilient team in terms of dealing with that.
And it's that attitude of, we will make it happen.
Yeah.
And that's where the art comes into it. And I'm not being dramatic, but if you follow a process and your process gets roadblocked and that's how you deal with your problems, you're not going to be able to solve that problem. But like you said, if we have imagine, what this happened this year where we had a group of about 30 people in Kathmandu that needed to get to Lukla. We had a group of about 30 people in Lukla that needed to get to Kathmandu. They've all got different flight times in order to get home.
Yeah.
These people here all have different flight times and different levels of leeway. How do you make that work?
Yeah,
exactly. And
yeah.
honestly,
it's a challenge.
Honestly, our team did. They made it work. We That's why it's like you can either do it or you can't.
It's magic. Absolutely.
It is. It's magic. Alchemy.
It is. Exactly. Something else really proud of as well. I know we touched on it a little bit last week, but is the impact that we're having in by releasing certain types of trips. And I know we talked about it. Hey David, how you doing? Nice to see you on here, mate.
How's it going?
We talked about the Tomakea route last week. And for anyone who wasn't here last week, essentially we caught up with Juan and Cindy, who do a lot of the organising for us in South America. We work with very closely, especially in Peru, and essentially this community that there was nothing really. Stop banging your hands on desks.
Come on, Anne, stop it.
He's like,
I didn't realise we did it. Did we do it?
You do.
Do I? Am I a desk banger?
You're a desk banger.
Is it me, Andrew, or is it Andy? Because I don't think I do it. But I do I?
We'll see. It's probably me. It's probably because I do speak with my hands.
I want to know if I'm a desk banger or not.
That is true. It's probably me then. But no, in the Tomakea route and the community that's thriving there, because we had EverTrekkers and go through that area and just created work. That was something I think was a real win this year. Just to hear that, and I know we've been doing that trip now for 2.5, 3 years. Going on a different route to get to Machu Picchu. But it's always good to hear those positive stories of what that has actually impacted.
Yeah.
And it's not just going to Machu Picchu. It's actually going to Machu Picchu and making a difference in that environment just by going there.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that is like huge. Absolutely huge. Yeah, I'll delete that comment.
That's Vicky throwing you under the bus there.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, how you doing?
You are right. To be honest, that's one of those little, EverTrek always we have a philosophy about how we run our trips, and that is that we want it to be run by local people. We don't want to send necessarily someone from the UK or me or you on one of the trips. We want you to fully immerse yourself. But we operate with that idea that to such an extent that we don't think about it every day. It's just something we do. Yeah. And then when we went to the WTM, World Travel Mart in London this year, it's a great opportunity to meet up with all of our teams from around the world. And we were chatting to our South American team, and they said, "Oh, by the way, and
this has happened.
This has happened.
Did you know?" And I was like, "No,
you guys
want to hear about this stuff."
Yeah, there are people there that live on they're like, was it subsistence farming? They grow their own food, and then they sell the food to other people that need it, and that's pretty much their life. And they want to benefit from tourism. They want to benefit from, to have more money to be able to provide their kids' educations and a better quality of life. And they said, "Do you realise that you guys are doing that? Your customers are doing that."
Yeah.
Little businesses are popping up. Like the woman who had the horses that were used for her land.
That's it. Now is used for something else.
And now they're used for something else. And it is amazing. It's it is
very proud moment.
Very proud moment.
Another thing as well I was really happy with, I know we talked about Nepal, talked about Peru, Kilimanjaro. Absolutely, we've had so many awesome groups this year, and the summit success has been fantastic. That being said, though, we did have our first evacuations by helicopter this year.
Do you know what? That was mad, that was. Yeah,
pretty crazy, huh?
I think it was it sickness? I'm not sure if it was altitude sickness. It might have been another.
I think it was stomach issues, but still, it was they were evacuated because the choppers were available.
Yeah, no, I mean, that is, it's rare on Kilimanjaro, actually. The entire time that we were on the mountain, we never saw a helicopter.
It's rare. It's the first time in years, but they've introduced it.
We're in Nepal. It's like you live under the Heathrow flight path. There's loads of them. But yeah, no, you are right. And actually, I count that as a success.
Yeah,
as well. Because we never had that happen before in all the years we've done Kilimanjaro. So there was a question. In my mind at least,
it's safer now in that way.
Yeah, like
on paper, it's safer.
We know that process exists, but we haven't physically gone through it because you can't claim if you're not sick and get one to test it.
Yeah,
and it worked, and actually, it was a great success. We got people down the mountain safe, which is ultimately the main goal.
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of the main goals.
It was just interesting seeing that process, but also as well, like we had some tough Killy summits this year, some bad weather up there.
Yeah.
Lots of snow. I know we've got people on Killy this week with similar conditions, but especially earlier in the year, we had some epic summits, similar to. I know Bry was on TubeCal recently, and similar to that.
Mm-hmm.
You imagine that on Killy, absolutely unbelievably more challenging, I would say. So good on you to all of our EverTrekkers who summited on Killy this year. It's been a difficult one.
Is Bry pulling the sled this year? Are you pulling the sled, Bry?
Well, he's pretty much Father Christmas, isn't he? So he probably will be.
I always forget. He has to remind me. I think is it like Essex to London or something like that, or London to Essex?
Yeah,
and
somewhere to London.
Yeah, and they pull pull this really heavy Santa sled. I think in teams.
He does it purely to prepare for his next trip.
Yeah, I know he
That's
could.
the only reason.
Yeah, Well, he's running. I see him on Strava all the time. He's running marathons and everything like that. So
he's keeping it. He's keeping his body ticking over. Well done, mate.
Inspiration, that man.
Yeah, he
Tell
is.
you.
He is. He's awesome. Something we haven't talked about as well, and I know we have done a lot in the UK this year. We did have our first training weekend. We went on the road. Normally we do it in Brecon Beacons, Bannockbrook Aignog.
Yeah, because it's an hour from where we live.
Yeah,
but it's Snowdonia this year.
But it was good. It was fantastic, and it was a huge success. Absolutely loved it.
I actually really enjoyed the Snowdonia weekend. Yeah. I remember thinking, oh God, this is a 4-hour drive here, which is a bit selfish because our customers do that every time they come to Brecon.
It's a nice drive though.
But actually, such a good trekking day.
Yeah, it was
such a good trekking day, and really good experience. And it was also nice because the team that we used to run, they're from that area.
Yeah.
So, me and you are the local experts really when it comes to Brecon. But it's nice.
They are definitely in North Wales.
Yeah, but when it comes to North Wales, those guys are like second to none. They know everything, all the Welsh names for the peaks and everything like that, which there's a big push now on using.
Airy, exactly, on Snowdonia.
Airy. What's the
Oither is, so I think Airy is like the national park name, whereas Oither is the name of Snowdonia.
Snowdonia, yeah.
Snowdon, sorry.
Snowdon.
Yeah, that's it. Not bad, mate. Almost right.
Yeah.
No, but it was great to run that. Obviously, we had our classics. We had the Winter Skills weekends in Scotland. We had also our training weekend here down in Wales, in Wales, in Brecon Beacons, which was great. And one thing I really enjoyed this year, we got on the road a bit. We went to we had the expos in Keswick Mountain Festival. We did the National Outdoor Expo. But you know what my favourite ones this year?
I do know because I can see your notepad. But they're also my favourite as well.
Ellis Brigham.
Yes, exactly. They were my favourite, actually.
Quite enjoyed those.
Having said that, I mean, Keswick was nice, but it was 35 degrees in a black tent.
So that is hot.
It was, and I was walking to get chips, and I tripped over, and someone laughed at me. I proper stacked it. But
well, mate, I mean, that's fair. I mean, if you trip up and fall over, you're going to expect laughter.
Someone should laugh, otherwise it's not fair. But
exactly.
Actually, the Ellis Brigham event, so we did Bristol, Manchester, and Kensington.
Yeah, we did London. Yeah.
And it was 3 events where we went and basically did a big showcase about Kilimanjaro. But it does like our Tuesday tune-ins do. It descends into a Q&A about all things mountaineering and trekking and high altitude. And actually, I remember being quite nervous about it because I'd never done a specific show before.
It was different, but it worked out well. It's ironic actually. I got a call with Ellis Brigham in about an hour.
Nice.
With Charlie, who was great. He organises all the Ellis Brigham stores for this type of thing, and it looks like we're going to do some more next year as well. So really excited about that.
Yeah, love
working with companies like Ellis Brigham, Cotswold Outdoor, all the Altitude Centre, Bear Hug, all of our wonderful partners.
Mm-hmm.
It's been fantastic to work with them this year.
Yeah.
Certainly more closely and making things happen. Yeah, it's been really, really good.
Yeah, and obviously you guys benefit as well. Little cheeky discounts here and there.
Yeah, I mean that's it. We always like to think we're trying to develop that, trying to get some more value for our EverTrekkers, and obviously the Altitude Centre with the training plans. You've got plenty like Bear Hug with the knee supports. If we're walking and we're walking for a long period of time, and you've got little people here who go crazy on a mountain bike, you're going to need knee supports.
I'll take the little person. Yeah, actually, yeah. So Bear Hug are really good. Do you know what's funny? My dad bought one
Did he?
I only then realised, literally last night, he said, "Oh, I didn't realise you guys get a
discount off them."
Yeah, but actually, really good. We did the so my knees are shot, but when we did the Glencoe Challenge this year,
which was
not
awesome.
a highlight. And
it was great.
It's
loads of EverTrekkers on there.
27.8 miles, I think.
Yeah.
Of trekking from Glencoe to Fort William, and I had a
never fall.
I did fall, but that was in the bog. I went up to my hip.
That's fair.
But but actually, I had the bear hug knee support on for all 27.8 miles,
and your knee was okay.
They work.
Yeah,
that's the best thing I can tell. Like I could. They've got loads of really good marketing about why they're good, but I'll just say they work.
Yeah, no. Well, that's what they're for. At the end of the day, and I know we've talked about many different kind of things, ways to protect your knee, that kind of stuff. But yeah, absolutely fantastic that they're out there being used by EverTrekkers in the community.
No, they're really great. I would say that the Ellis Brigham discount came in literally about a week after I just bought some incredibly expensive ski boots. So that was fun.
You should have waited.
I know I should have waited,
but it wasn't meant to be.
But I got excited.
But at least you had those ski boots.
I got excited for the ski trip.
Hey Mark, how you doing? Thanks for joining us, mate. Mark Elsegood. Hey guys, just want to say how I appreciated the assistance of the porters and guides on my recent EBC trip. In particular, Lopsang, who organised the chopper when I was particularly unwell. Thank you to Lauren for checking I was okay. Once back in local, Merry Christmas. Mate, Mark, thank you so much, mate. Lovely feedback as well, and great to see. Obviously, seems like you fell in love with the place as well. So good on you, and hope you feel a bit better now. Now, obviously, when you've returned, and we'll pass on your feedback to Lauren as well. She'll like that.
Yeah, 100%. And that looks like an amazing dog in this picture.
I was just looking at the.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
Mark,
tiniest of thumbnails.
So Mark, that's all very good. Thank you. What's the dog's name? How old is the dog? Is it a good little boy or girl?
And clearly, Dave likes dogs.
I'm all about the dogs.
I know.
That's my favourite thing about Keswick.
There's a lot of dogs in Keswick.
Yeah, we bring dog treats, and it's half marketing, so I'll just put a couple of dog treats outside our thing. So if you are walking a dog,
you're giving up the secret sauce.
The dog will stop to eat the treat, and I'll be like, "Hey, do you want to go to base camp?" And they'll go, "Yeah," and I'll go, "Great, talk to Andy." Hello.
Well, it works.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Some other stuff as well. I know we've done while we're talking about event stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoyed, and we've had some really good feedback of the Couch to events that we're doing. So I know we're doing like live training sessions, like webinars. Couch to Everest we did Couch to Killian, then Couch to Machu Picchu.
Yeah, they're really good, but webinar.
Okay, let's get rid of that word. It's a live training
we
session.
can call them webinars. When are we doing a webinar? But for the guys, I think, to me, because it's not, I've joined webinars before, and it is bring out your matchstick sometimes.
Well, hopefully they're better.
I will say, and to be fair, all credit to this man. You are an ideas man, and I'll give you that. This Tuesday tune-in was Andy's idea. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be doing it. And I say a lot of the really cool stuff that you see, all come from this guy's brain.
Sometimes.
And the webinars was one of your ideas.
Well, I want to connect with people, and I know, look, not everyone comes on the Tuesday tune-in at the same time every week. Most weeks, unless we're not here, but I wanted to do more concentrated kind of intros, especially for people like a lot of EverTrekkers on here. You've done trips already, which is great. You're probably quite far into the adventure journey, which is awesome. But I also want to help people at the beginning as well. So we're trying to get a lot of it is we're looking at people who they got less knowledge from these type of things, or they're less clued up about trekking at high altitude. So that's what it's for.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been really proud of those. Yeah, we've had some really great feedback from them, and also as well people who have said, "Oh, thank you so much," and it's helped me decide where I want to do, where I want to go, and that serves a purpose for us. It's great because it's, again, we want to do stuff that helps, and we can obviously, if we can help you guys in some way when you go into Everest Base Camp, when you go to Kilimanjaro, when you go to Machu Picchu, maybe we'll do some others. But if it helps in some way, then fantastic.
Yeah.
Sheila, how you doing? Nice to see you on here. When are you doing the next EBC Couch to Everest? Yeah, there will be one. I think the next one we'll do is actually in February. We're doing a Couch to Killy in January. We'll be releasing the date for that very soon, and then we'll be doing another one for Everest Base Camp. But look, why wait? Let us know, Sheila. Any questions that you have, more than happy to answer all of your questions. Rather than let you wait 2 months. Any questions? Drop them here. Me and Dave can chat about them now. If there's anything on your mind about Everest at all, obviously we'd love to get those answered. Or don't have to do it in a public space. You can message us and speak to one of the team.
Yeah.
And make sure that you've got everything covered. And all that assistance for your trip preparation. Hopefully that helps, Sheila. But looking forward to doing more of those in 2025.
Awesome. Important update. Mark's dog is Bert the Whippet.
Okay, this is important. Yeah.
Actually had an eye removed the day before Mark left for EBC, but he's doing fine now. So that sounds like he is the best dog. And I want to see
15 as well, fair dues.
I want to see everyone who's watching this live please take the time to put a hashtag Bert's the best in the comments.
Bert's the best.
And because I reckon if I just had an eye removed and I knew that there was a big group of people I didn't even know wishing me on and saying Dave's the best, it'd make me feel better.
Do you think Bert's sitting there waiting?
If I know Bert, and I think I do, he would appreciate that.
He probably would.
Yeah,
definitely.
What did you do this year, and that was new for you?
That's a really good question. I haven't prepared for.
Yeah, no, it's not written down, is it?
No, it's not. I'm always, me, I'm always trying new stuff. I suppose this is more a recent thing. I have joined a choir.
Yeah, you have joined the choir, yeah.
Quite enjoying the singing. Quite enjoying the singing. Definitely, I did do something new I hadn't done before, which is I did with you and a few of our friends. The Cornwall Coastal Walk. We took our first steps, and we're trying to do the whole thing over the next few years. So that was actually our first for us.
That was an amazing one, actually. I hadn't thought of that.
Good. Yeah.
I will say for me, it wasn't the first time I did it, but this is the first year I've got into it. Cold dipping.
I'm so happy that I managed to pull you in.
I'm now an addict.
You're a convert now. Yeah.
Like the first time I did it was a little while ago. But actually, since this year, I remember it was January this year.
We've been doing it really regularly. That's the important thing.
Really consistently. So I tried to get one in a week, but there's not 3 weeks that goes by where I don't get one.
Yeah.
And I got you to thank for that as well for getting me into it. Cold dipping and skiing.
Mate, they're great.
They're two things that you've got me into over recent times. Skiing, I can't say it's new this year because it's not, but skiing's the best. Bert's the best. Skiing's the
Bert's the best. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
No, it is interesting, and I think, I know we're talking about things that probably don't relate to trekking here, but I think anytime you try something new out of your comfort zone, much like a trek, when you go into Everest Base Camp for the first time, maybe you're trying Killy, it could be Toubkal, it could be Machu Picchu. You're going to have these kind of worries or anxieties in your mind, even if they're subconscious ones. When you're going into it, and it kind of manifests itself in your body reacting in a certain way.
Yeah.
But I think the amazing thing, what's on the other side of that, just by doing it, is that, you're like, it's cold, don't want to get in there. How am I going to feel? And the first time you do it might suck, but when you get in there, or when you do something, when you go on a trip, when you do something new, once you've done it, and then on the other side, when you're looking back to it, that is where the magic happens, I think.
Yeah.
And you see that, and you look on that now, because you've done it consistently. Again, much like training, when you do consistent training in the build up to a trip, you feel $1 million before you go on a trip.
No, 100%. And you know what I love about it as well? I still get a buzz out of it.
Yeah, that's what it's for.
I still get a buzz out of it. Even before I go in, I'm like, can I do it? And then.
But it's the same with trekking. You get a buzz out of it. You go into these new places. You go into when you get summits, when you achieve something. Like I remember the first time I went to Everest Base Camp, and I remember being first time it was winter. It was 2016 January, and got there, and there was no one else there, and got there, and it kind of broke down in tears. But it was like, oh my God, I've actually done what I set out to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the way back, and I was taking in all the land because you're on the way up, you're like face down because you're working hard to get there. And I was drinking in the views and then hanging out with people, and it was just like, what's next?
Yeah,
it's so inspiring.
It is amazing. It is amazing. I think that's one thing about doing what you set out to do.
Yeah,
is something that never gets old.
Yeah, it doesn't.
But I do think that because I did the half marathon, and I remember crossing the line and thinking, yeah, I'm never going to do that again. I didn't really.
Well, then you did it 2 weeks later.
I did another one 2 weeks later.
Yeah, I remember you telling me
that's
that,
because
yeah.
I'm an idiot. You shouldn't listen to me. But but trekking is something it always catches me by surprise. There is because it's something we do consistently.
Yeah.
And sometimes I am in the habit of I'll go out and do a hike, and it's almost like I'll just go and do a hike. And I get around the hike and I get in the car and I drive off. I always feel better. But every now and then I have a hike, and it could be anything. It doesn't have to be an EBC or something epic.
Yeah, just getting out.
That I really do love. And there are two I can think of. One that happened last year and one that happened this year.
I'm going to guess that the one last year was Cadair Idris.
Cadair Idris last year.
Remember that? Yeah.
This year, do you know what it was?
Penavan
loop we did the other day.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't know why. It was the Penavan loop I did the other day with you. So
that was good because that was a battle.
It was a battle. It was windy.
There was no one up there.
We'd written off the idea of trekking for the weekend because of the storm.
Donna,
yeah.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
But I remember, so we were going to go out Saturday morning, but then Friday night with all these weather alerts and everything, we thought, it's best not to, because even if you don't get hurt by the weather but you break your leg, you're going to end up on the news. So it's
not a good thing. Got to be professional.
So we wrote the idea off for the weekend. We'll go next weekend. And then I was literally lying on the bed, just scrolling through my phone, wondering what I'm going to do today. And he calls me and he's like, come on, let's go out and do a trek. And I was like, come on. Fine, I'll get ready and drive. And then we went and we just did literally Story Arms up to the summit and back down the
it was only a few hours.
The normal route, 3 hours, 3 and a bit hours.
Yeah, it's not much.
And I remember driving back and I was thinking, I needed that. I didn't realise I needed that. It was great. Cadair Idris, the one we did, amazing. I love
that was good. By the Miniford Path, which is tough. A lot of steps.
Stepageddon.
Although kind of a bit of a scrambly route. Don't go the classic route. But yeah, Cadair Idris, absolutely wonderful mountain.
Our route's the best though, I think.
It's a good route. Yeah.
It battered me, that one did as well. It absolutely battered me.
You've got to make it challenging. I think you can't just go up there, and you've got to make it, something different.
I made a mistake on that one though, but I still loved it because it was one of those where we set off early, we drove up there. You start up those steps, and it's your heart rate just goes from 0 to 1,000 straight away. And the steps don't stop for some time.
Yeah.
But then I remember it was great because it had a bit of everything. It had the steps, it had the scenery, the lake, scrambly, a big summit, and then we're thinking typical Andy, we're at the top of the summit and you can see the way you're supposed to go down, and it's that's an hour's walk. And then he's like, no, let's turn around, go back up that peak over there and do a big loop down those steps to the bottom. So we probably took about 3 hours to get down when it should have been 1.
Yeah, but
it
was a good route.
I remember I couldn't get the temperature right because it was raining, but I was boiling.
It was warm.
And but actually, remember when we came down, someone had slipped, didn't they, and hurt themselves on the way down.
That's why we had to help.
But a great trip though. Loved Cadair Idris and Penavan. This one just gone.
It's great. Yeah. Thing is, when you've got experiences like that, and you get something in the diary, it's good to have those feelings and remember what it's like. And hopefully, guys, you have some awesome adventures over Christmas. I know Dave, we're coming towards the end now, but
I think we are. Yeah.
Any final thoughts from you for 2024?
I think it's been a great year.
Yeah.
I think, when I think sometimes you can get bogged down in your own sort of mind, and if things aren't going right in that moment, you kind of forget that life's a long journey.
Yeah.
And actually, if you look back at it, there's so many successes and so many times where you've impacted other people. That's what really helps me, is when people say, I wasn't going to do it, and then I watched TTI and I thought, I can do it, so I did.
Yeah.
And I think so if you are that person, then please inspire other people to kind of get on trips and do things and become part of this community, because it does make a big difference. And honestly, it changed my life forever. 8 years ago in 2016, when I went to Everest Base Camp, and my life suddenly there was a fork in the road, and I chose the adventurous path. And I think you won't regret it. You can't regret taking a more adventurous lifestyle. Has
well said, Dave, well said. And honestly, it's thank you to everyone that's been part of the EverTrekker community this year, and has raised money for charity, has gone on our trips, and we've loved being a part of it. I know a very small part of it. You know, I know we do a lot behind the scenes, but hopefully we've helped this year. But yeah, have an awesome Christmas. I know it's literally we're in terms of opening hours. Our last day is Friday, so I know we've got some posts going out, some emails basically around like opening hours. But anything you need this week, and then we're off. Then we're back in on the 2nd of January. So yeah, for 2025, can't wait for the adventures. But yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and we'll definitely be doing Tuesday Tune-In next year. Obviously, we'll be back. We'll probably be on the 7th, hopefully, all going well, of January. So you've got a little bit of time off. But thank you for joining us. And obviously, thanks for all your questions. Angus, Andrew, Sheila, Mark, Bri, everyone is on the live. But I'm not forgetting Bert, because he's the best, right?
Because he is the best, yeah.
That's
been independently verified and peer-reviewed.
And peer-reviewed, exactly. No, but Merry Christmas, have an awesome time. And then we'll see you again in 2025. I can't bloody believe we're saying that.
I know. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy New Year, and see you on the other side.
Yeah, all the best. Cheers, Simon.
Bye.
Bye, mate.